Hello and welcome back. In this session, what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be getting of how to prepare and review the material for your DANB RHS exam. All right, so I'm not going to go detail for detail because that's what you sign up for the course for. I will give you the tools so you can do it if that's what you want to do. So if you looked at my previous video, then you would have saw that I pretty much went through how to set up your area where you're going to be doing your review. And it's important for you to be away from the kids, be away from the pets and all of that. Now, this is kind of a makeshift setup for me right now. I don't know if I'm gonna stay with this setup here. But we're gonna make it work for this video. You want to first start off by identifying how much time you actually have to commit to studying. In this session, I'm going to commit 30 minutes. It's the first session. I just kind of want to get a rhythm going for myself and figure out, just how I'm gonna move with all of this. Now, yeah, what's the next thing? Okay, so I got my 30 minutes down. I have my clock here, which I did share with you guys before. This is what I'm used to as a timer. I can set it to stop at the time that I want it to stop. Now, in addition to that, I am going to be using the MDA. This is the 13th edition. They do have a 14th edition available for those of you that are interested in purchasing. I also have information on other books that will be great resources for you to use during your study session, so just check out that video. Now, again, I mentioned about the 3-week checklist, but if you want to get more information about that, check out the video on that. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be focusing on the study planner. That's another download that I have for you guys. And the study planner just basically breaks down, okay, so what is the plan of action? Now, again, there are some of you who like to fly by the seat of your pants. Do you? I do like to be strategic in how I'm moving. That way I can track my progress and I know what I know and I know what I don't know. And so this study planner has different sections over 3 categories that we'll be reviewing for the DANB RHS exam. And so you would choose purpose and technique, protection, or infection control. Those are the 3 categories. And you will want to document that on your study planner so you can know how you're doing in each section and what section and what in that section you really need to be focusing on. So I need to be able to interpret the image. I need to be able to look and know what it is that I'm looking at. And by me knowing what it is that I'm looking at, I will be able to identify if it's normal anatomy or if it's abnormal. Now, you may say, well, what does that have to do with you? You're not the dentist. You're absolutely right. But I need to know when an image is diagnostic. I need to know if I made a mistake. I need to know if I actually got the part of the tooth or got the actual image that I was going for. And if you don't know what normal anatomy looks like, if you don't know what abnormal anatomy looks like, then when you look at the image, you won't know if you got the right shot or not. And so that plays into the safety of the patient and yourself, because if you retake the image unnecessarily, you are over radiating your patient and you are also potentially exposing yourself to unnecessary radiation. That's how you should be going through these step by step and evaluating your knowledge about what it is that you're looking at on the RHS exam outline. And it's just 3 pillars, and you go down through each one of these. What is it? Definition. What does it look like on an actual dental radiograph? Yet again, if it even applies to a dental radiograph. And when we say what does it look like, can you identify it? If somebody was to hold up an image and ask you to point that out, would you be able to identify it? If someone was to describe it in a game of charades, would you be able to think that's what that is? Like, would you come up with that based off of the information that's being provided for you? And once you've checked off those 2 things, the final thing will be more in theory, which will be, how does this impact radiation safety? That's going to take a little bit more deeper thinking, and that's where a lot of students get goofed up. They know what these things look like on radiographs. They also answer certain questions about them when it comes down to why are they there, or is it radiopaque or radiolucent, but they don't understand the concept behind, okay, so what does this have to do with safety? Like, how does this impact me as a dental radiographer that will actually help me be safe? We're going to go through each one of these one by one. And if you don't know any of those 3 pillar questions, then you're going to circle it or you're going to highlight it and identify it. Once you go through just purpose and technique, then you're going to see what you're left with and then start to research that information by going in the book, looking it up, and we're going to identify which of those 3 pillars that we couldn't identify when we were initially reviewing it. So let's say, for example, we know the definition of it, and we know what it looks like on a radiograph, but we don't know how it plays or how it impacts safety. Then that's what you will research from your book. You may know how it impacts safety, but you really don't know exactly what it looks like on an actual image. Then that's what you would research. You would pull it up and identify what does that look like on a dental radiograph. And you want to make sure that you can identify it because it's going to come back up again. You're going to review all of that information. That's the second phase. And then once you do that, then you are ready to go in to the practice test, preferably Abakai Dental's practice test. But if you don't go with our practice test, whatever practice test or practice questions you can get your hands on, and then you're going to review just that portion of the big exam. Now, that's the problem with a lot of free questions for these practice tests that they have out there. They just have just hodgepodge of questions over the entire exam. Our practice exam is broken up into categories or sections that align with the RHS exam outline, which makes it a little bit more easier for you to actually strategically study the material. And once you go through purpose and technique, remember that's 50% of the exam, then you take the practice exam over the information that you've just reviewed, then you will look at your score. Now, when you look at the score, if you are scoring anywhere under 80%, 80% will say anything under 80, then you need to review everything that you got wrong and go back to your book and look at it in there as well, and then take that test again until you actually can score at least 80%. And then we will go to the next section. So I'm gonna leave you with that. I'm gonna go ahead and walk down the rest of my time that I've delegated to studying today. And when I jump back on here, I'm gonna let you know what my results were when I took the practice test. So I hope this helped you guys. And if you want more tips, please subscribe and follow along. Thanks for joining. Ciao.